In this video, we're going to write equations of lines parallel or perpendicular to a given line through a point. Recall that parallel lines have the exact same slope, and that the slopes of perpendicular lines are negative reciprocals. So the flip of one another and different signs. So lines L and P are perpendicular because they have perpendicular slopes. The slope of line P is negative 1/4 and the slope of L is 4. Alright, so I have a couple of examples. Remember, parallel have equal slopes, perpendicular have negative reciprocals. So looking at this equation, these two equations here, y equals negative 1/2 x minus 12 and y equals 2x plus 7. The slope of the first line is negative 1/2. And the slope of the second line is positive 2. Those are negative reciprocals of one another because I flip 1/2 around and I get 2/1, and this is negative and that one's positive. So those lines are perpendicular. Notice these two lines are in the point slope form. So we have a slope of 3 and a point of negative 5, positive 4. Here we have a slope of negative 1/3 and a point on that line of negative 1, negative 3. Notice the slopes are 3 and negative 1/3. If I took the negative reciprocal of positive 3, 3/1 would flip to be 1/3. This is positive, so the negative reciprocal would be negative. So those are also perpendicular lines. In this set of lines, we have y equals 2x plus 4 and y equals 2x minus 10. Notice the slopes are the same, so those are actually going to be parallel lines because they have the exact same slope. In this problem, what we're going to do is write the equation in slope-intercept form for each situation. So we want the line that passes through the point 6, 2 and is parallel to y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1. Well, because the lines are parallel, we're going to have the same slope in both. So the slope here is negative 2/3, so I'm going to use that slope to find my new line. And it needs to pass through the point 6, 2. So I'm going to write the equation of the line that has a slope of negative 2/3 and it passes through the point 6, 2. Well, that turns into a problem where I just have a point and a slope, so just find the equation. So y minus the y value of the point is 2 equals negative 2/3 x minus the x value of the point, which is 6. From here, just work out algebraically the slope-intercept form. So distribute your 2/3. Y minus 2 equals negative 2/3 x. Negative times a negative becomes a positive. 12/3 reduces to 4. Now I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So I get y equals negative 2/3 x plus 6. And this is going to be the equation that passes through the point 6, 2 and is parallel to y equals 2/3 x plus 1. Notice y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1 has the same slope as the line we found. In this problem, we're going to find the line that passes through negative 7, negative 4, and is perpendicular to y equals negative 1/2 x plus 9. Well, because we know they're going to be perpendicular lines, we know we have to have the negative reciprocal of the slope of the line we're given. So I'm going to use the point negative 7, negative 4, and I'm going to use a slope of 2 because that is the negative reciprocal of negative 1/2. So I'm going to just find the equation of the line between -7, -4 with a slope of 2. So I have y minus a -4 equals 2 times x minus a -7. So first I'm going to rewrite this where I don't have minus a negative. I'm going to rewrite that as y plus 4 equals 2 times x plus 7, because minus a negative turns those into a positive. Now I'm going to distribute the 2, so y plus 4 equals 2x plus 14, and then subtract 4. So y equals 2x, 14 minus 4 is positive 10. So the equation of the line that passes through -7, -4, and is perpendicular to our given line is y equals 2x plus 10. Notice that y equals -1/2 x plus 9 has a negative reciprocal slope from the line we found. Okay, so in this one we have some just important things to note. Vertical lines are always perpendicular to horizontal lines. So I have this vertical blue line here and this horizontal red line. They will always make that right angle. And we could verify that with looking at some slopes. So the slope of a horizontal line we know is going to be 0. The slope of a vertical line is going to be undefined. Well, remember, if we were to find the slope, we would count rise over run, and 0 would be our numerator. So for example, we could have a rise of 0 and a run of 7. So we get 0 over 7. Well, if we look at the undefined line, we might have a rise of 7 and a run of 0. And notice this inverted relationship. We have 0 over 7 and 7 over 0. So again, we have that negative reciprocal relationship. Vertical lines will always be parallel to other vertical lines. So you can see here the vertical line that's the y-axis is parallel to this other vertical blue line. So anywhere I move that, any vertical line is always going to be parallel to another vertical line. The same goes for horizontal lines. Notice this horizontal line, y equals -4, is parallel to the x-axis. Anywhere I move that horizontal line, it's always going to be parallel to that x-axis. So all horizontal lines are parallel to each other. Okay, I want to write the equations of each description. So I want the line parallel to x equals -6 through the point 4, -3. Well, x equals 6 is a vertical line. And so we know vertical lines will always be parallel to another vertical line. We also know vertical lines' equations are x equals the x-intercept, or x equals the same value that it needs the point to go through. Well, this point has an x value of +4. So x equals 4 is going to be parallel to x equals -6. It will also pass through that point for -3. All right, now I want the line that's going to be perpendicular to x equals 6 through the point 4, -3. In order for them to be perpendicular, x equals 6 is a vertical line. So I know perpendicular lines will look like a horizontal line. I know horizontal lines have 0 slope and look like y equals a number. So it will be y equals that y value of that point. So y equals -3 will be perpendicular to the vertical line x equals -6, and it will pass through the point 4, -3. Okay, looking at the next one, we have a line that's going to be parallel to y equals 7 through the point -1, -10. Well, y equals 7 is a horizontal line. So if I want it to be parallel to y equals 7, it's going to be another horizontal line. So it's going to be y equals a number, and we choose the y value of the point, which will be -10. So y equals -10 will be parallel to y equals 7, and will be going through the point -1, -10. Looking at perpendicular to y equals 7, because y equals 7 is a horizontal line, one perpendicular to that will be vertical. So I need a vertical line, which will have the equation x equals a number, and I want it to go through the point -1, -10. Well, the x value of the point will give us the equation of that line. It will make sure it passes through that given point, and it gives us the x value that we need for our equation.